now let's go to the CPP file. The first thing I'm going to do is include with quotes pushButton.h, which is the file here. So I include the header file from the C++ file. And then I am going to implement those three methods here. That one is already implemented, okay? That's the default constructor. And I'm going to add do not use. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste here, remove the indentation, and then I'm simply going to add kind of the namespace, which is the class name with colon, like this. So one for the constructor, okay, and then I add it here after the data type and before the name of the function, like this. And then I remove the semicolon and I simply add curly brackets, so then I can define the functions or the methods. All right, and now let's simply write the code, write the logic for the class. So in the constructor, we get the pin number, okay? And well, we are going to set the pin here, the private attribute, which is pin. So we simply do this pin is equal to pin, okay? Because I use the same name, okay, for the attribute and for the parameter, we have a collision for the name. So I need to use this to make sure that this with an arrow is the attribute from the class, and pin like that without an arrow is simply the parameter I got from the function. So well, the constructor, nothing else for now, okay? That's really similar from what we did with the LED. And then in the init function, I am going to do pin mode using this time the pin. So because I don't have any confusion for the name, I just use pin, which relates directly to the pin attribute. Okay, and then I need to provide input or input pullup. And actually, this is what we are going to do in the next step, in the next video, is to handle the input and input pullup. But for now, I'm just going to write pullup. And why is that? Simply because in the hardware setup, I have just put the push button like this with no pull up or pull down resistor. So the state of the button can be floating. So we need to use the input pull up resistor, okay, directly from the Arduino board. So I'm going to put it like this for now. Great. And now that we have initialized the push button in the read state, well, so we need to return a byte. So what we simply do is do return digital read with the pin number. And that's pretty much it. And also, well, because we have a state, so I want to keep a state for the class. So whenever we read, we use read state, I want to save the state inside the class, inside the object. So what I can do instead of this, I can do state is equal to, so state is of course the attribute here, is equal to digital read from the pin, and then I do return state. So when you use read state, you get the state, but you also save the state inside the class. So then any other function may be able to use the state, and we are going to actually use that a little bit later. And also here in the init, we just initialize the mode for the pin. What we can do is also call the function read state. So we initialize the state, okay, with the current state of the button when we initialize it. And note that here read state returns a value, but here I don't use the return value. I just use the read state so I can save the state like this in the object.